Welcome back. Many SAT and ACT questions will test your ability to use a semicolon or a colon. Unfortunately, many of my students don't learn this material in their everyday English class, but once they learn the specifics, they can handle these questions fairly easily. So in this video, let's sort out the difference between semicolons, colons, and how the SAT and ACT will test you on each. These questions are very popular on each test and worth a lot of points. If you find this video helpful, please hit the like button, share, and subscribe. And be sure to hit the notification bell so you can be updated whenever I post a new video. I appreciate your support. Thank you. Okay, semicolons and colons. Here we go. Let's start with semicolons. Back in video 20, here, we discussed the different rules for semicolons and commas. Check it out for a full breakdown. But let's recap the rule with this question here. The Big Splash hypothesis suggests that a planet called Theia hit the Earth about 4.5 billion years ago. As a result, our moon was formed. I'll give you a minute to see if you remember video 20. Press pause, give it a shot. Notice that some of the answer choices here have semicolons, while others have commas. When given the choice between a comma and a semicolon, the main thing you need to ask is whether or not each part of the sentence is its own full thought. So let's read each part to see if it is. I'll just read the first part. The Big Splash hypothesis suggests that a planet called Theia hit the Earth about 4.5 billion years ago. That's a full thought. It could stand on its own. And let's read the second part. As a result, our moon was formed. Also a full thought. So we have two full thoughts separated by a comma. But you're not allowed to do that. You need to have a semicolon between two full thoughts. Therefore, the answer is C. That gives us two full thoughts separated by a semicolon. So here's the rule that we hit in video 20. You can use a comma between one full thought and one not full thought. You could use a semicolon between two full thoughts. Now, in case you were confused by that, let's just talk about why the other choices are still wrong. As we said with choice A, that gives us a comma between two full thoughts, and that's not right. In B, they do give us a semicolon, but they also throw in that word and. By throwing in the word and, it makes the second part no longer full, so that makes B incorrect. And then in D, the word but does take the second part and make it no longer full, but that word is not a logical transition. The word but gives us contrast, and that doesn't make sense in the context of the sentence. So the answer is C. So again, you could use a semicolon between two full thoughts. Now, if you're confused as to whether or not you have full thoughts, you could do what I just did. Read each part of the sentence by itself, without the other part, to see if it could stand on its own. If each part of a sentence can stand alone, that means you have two full thoughts. So a semicolon is fine. So think of a semicolon like a weak period. You can use it between two full thoughts. And this brings up a very helpful trick. If you ever see two answer choices that are identical, and the only difference between them is that one has a period and one has a semicolon, it means they're both wrong. Remember, a semicolon and a period are both used the same way, to separate two full thoughts. So if you see them listed in two different choices, they can't both be right. It means they're both out. Now, I'm stressing very heavily that there needs to be nothing else different about the choices. But as long as everything else is identical, and the only difference between the choices is that one has a period and one has a semicolon, then they're both wrong. You could eliminate both. I covered this tip back in video 17. Here. Check it out. In that video, you'll find many other tips and tricks to help you navigate the grammar sections. But back to the main point, a semicolon, like a period, is used between two full thoughts. What we just saw is the most common variation of how the SAT and ACT will test a semicolon, between two full thoughts. However, once in a blue moon, this upcoming variation might appear instead. Here's a sentence where the semicolons are being used correctly. Let's read it, then we'll talk about why. Everyone was eager to start exploring. Eddie wanted to go for a hike, but only if it didn't rain. Maria wanted to go boating, as long as Carl would help. And Eliza wanted to visit the farmer's market and stock up on fresh produce. Notice the two semicolons here. They are correct, even though the final part of the sentence is not a full thought. And here's the reason why. You can also use semicolons to separate items in a complex series. Now, what do I mean by a complex series? It means that the items in the series already have their own punctuation. For example, in the sentence here, notice how each element of the series already has commas. Since the items in the series already have commas within them, it means that you can separate the items with semicolons. Or to put that another way, you can use semicolons for items in a list when the list itself already contains punctuation. Let's look at another. In analyzing the results, Walt found that some shards, about 10 to 15%, appeared opaque. Others, about 20 to 30%, were only somewhat cloudy, and all of the others, about 55%, had a remarkable blue tint. I'll give you a minute. Press pause, give it a try. Notice what they're doing. They're giving us items in a series, but each part of that series already contains parentheses inside of it. So in other words, there is already punctuation within the list itself. And now, notice that semicolon after the word opaque. That's a very important clue. It's telling us that they want to separate the items of this series with semicolons. So the answer is B. That correctly separates each item with semicolons. And that's fine because each item of the series already has parentheses within it or its own punctuation. Again, this variation of a semicolon is much less common. Usually, the tests will only use a semicolon between two full thoughts. Still, this variation will appear on the test once in a great while, so keep an eye out. Now let's take a look at colons. There are 3 different ways to use a colon on the SAT or the ACT. Let's take a look. Here's the first way. Jason is an excellent piano player. He can play any song from memory. That sentence is correct because that colon is being used for an explanation. The second part is telling you why he's an excellent piano player. Here's another. Let's review what you should put aside the night before the test. Your admissions ticket, ID, and pencils. That colon is being used to introduce a list. They're saying, I'm about to tell you 3 things, colon, thing 1, thing 2, thing 3. That's a list. And now here's a third. There's one thing that New Yorkers can't complain about, the weather in October. I'll call that an announcement. It's like, I'm about to tell you something in part 2, colon, here's the thing. So a colon can be used to introduce an explanation, a list, or an announcement. But all 3 of those variations come with a very important guideline. A colon must come after a full thought. Notice how that's true for each example here. Jason is an excellent piano player. That's a full thought. Let's review what you should put aside the night before the test. Also a full thought. And the third, there is one thing that New Yorkers can't complain about. In all 3 examples, the part that came before the colon was a full thought. Now the second part can be a full thought, but it doesn't have to be. So let's take a look here. In that first one, he can play any song from memory. That second part is a full thought, but not in the second one. Your admissions ticket, ID, and pencils, not a full thought, nor is it in the third, the weather in October. So again, for a colon, it could be a list, an announcement, or an explanation, as long as that part before the colon is full, and the second part can be either. So let's see how this comes up on a question. Tom changed many things about his art presentation the night before the deadline, including the color scheme, the frame, and the title. I'll give you a minute. Press pause, give it a shot. This colon is being used to establish a list, so at first glance it might appear fine the way it's written. However, remember what we just said, it has to come after a full thought. So let's see if we have that. Let's just read the first part, up to the colon. Tom changed many things about his art presentation the night before the deadline, including. Could we end a sentence there? No. That means that colon is wrong. The answer is C. We don't need any punctuation going into the list. And this is a very common trap on each test. They might give you a colon before a list, an announcement, or an explanation, so it's tempting to pick it. However, you always have to check to make sure that that first part is a full thought. Let's look at that with another example. Think about if the colons are being used correctly in each sentence here. You are going to need several things for your trip to Vienna, such as foreign bills, a renewed passport, and a plane ticket. You're going to need several things for your trip to Vienna. Foreign bills, a renewed passport, and a plane ticket. I'll give you a second. Press pause, think about it. So the question we need to ask is whether or not we have a full thought before each colon. Let's try the first one. You are going to need several things for your trip to Vienna, such as Could you stop a sentence there? No, so we wouldn't use a colon in the first one. We don't need any punctuation into the list. But now let's look at the second one. You are going to need several things for your trip to Vienna. Could you end a sentence there? Yes, that colon is fine. So even though these sentences appear to be very similar, and they both introduce a list, the colon is only correct in the second one, and not in the first one. Let's try one more. Julia excelled in all aspects of costume design: planning, sewing, and execution of the final product. I'll give you a minute. Press pause, give it a try. So we always want to come back to that question, whether or not we have a full thought before the colon. Let's check. Julia excelled in all aspects of costume design. That's fine. That's a full thought. That means the colon is correct. The answer is F. It's fine as written. So just to recap, you can use a semicolon between two full thoughts or to separate items in a complex series. That first way is much more popular on the test, but once in a while, keep an eye out for that second one. And you could use a colon for a list, an announcement, or an explanation, but that first part has to be a full thought. The second part doesn't matter. Again, the big question you always want to keep in mind for a colon or a semicolon is whether or not you have full thoughts. And in order to determine that, you can read each part of the sentence on its own without the other part. That will tell you if it's a full thought, which will then dictate the type of punctuation you should use. Keep practicing this as you work on your practice sections. As we said, these topics are very popular on each test and worth a lot of points, so keep an eye out. I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to leave any comments below with any questions you have on this topic. And remember, plan your work, work your plan.